watch the replay.
There we go. Wonderful.
Wonderful.
All right. We're just waiting for a few more people, but we will get started right away. And I want to welcome everyone and Happy New Year. We always like to be prompt, right, Rex? We're the prompt people.
We're the prompt people, and here's Robert Parks.
Yeah.
We were talking about you, Robert. Come on camera.
Love it. All right. We'll just wait just a few more seconds.
Oh, I need to.
Great. Perfect. As we get going, so just if you can make sure that the camera's on and that the chat is enabled on your side of the screen would be awesome. This is going to be wonderfully interactive and really excited about this opportunity to connect with you all. So Rex, why don't I can continue to, as I'm doing the introductions and just, bringing everyone together, we can just begin. I know we have, a lot of people who signed up, but you never know. It is our beautiful life. Let's get going and let's make this meaningful and memorable. And
Indeed.
so, yeah. And so as we begin, go ahead,
All I
Rex.
was going to say is I'll be happy if you'd like to take the lead here and talk. I'll let people in as they come in. I
Perfect.
think I can do that. And I'd like to see Yusufu and Robert on camera.
Yeah,
We'll
perfect.
find out
Hi,
if they
Abba.
and Abba, so good to see you. Look at that. Look at that.
Love it. Love it. Well, as we begin the introductions, I think most of you know Rex. So why don't I just begin with a warm welcome, a heart welcome from myself. My name is Sandra Horton, and I am a success change catalyst here in wonderful, just outside of the suburbs in Vancouver, British Columbia, in Canada. And I'm known as a success change catalyst. And I have been wonderfully connected to Rex for the last 4 years. I have my MA in leadership, and my passion is around creating change. I'm a ProSci Change certified practitioner, emotional intelligence practitioner. And what really juices me and gets me going each day is to help and support leaders like yourselves to truly transform, to connect to your heart so that you can activate success now and beyond. And there's so much more and so many things. And I've been most grateful to work with Rex in NLP world. And it's just a beautiful opportunity for us to come together and to be able to come and meet with you today because there's a reason why you're here. There's absolutely a reason that you're here. And our intentions today, we'll talk about the word intention, is to connect to you and to inspire you to be able to move forward. So Rex, why don't you do a quick introduction? Because again, I know that you have a richness, a background that most people know, but maybe if you just want to share a little bit about yourself for those who don't know you. Thank you.
I'm her friend.
That's nice. Thank you for that.
I'm her friend. I'm Rex Sikes. I've been doing this for about 50 years. And Sandra and I met 4 or 5 years ago and have been doing stuff together ever since. And that's really cool. And I see a number of really wonderful people here who I have a history with.
Mhm.
So indeed, again, we invite you to come off of camera.
Yep.
And I see Yusuf is back. I don't know what that means. But I've been doing things like neurolinguistic programming, whole brain learning, and accelerated learning for many, many years, more than I've been doing them professionally, and master hypnotist and hypnotherapist. And most importantly, I'm a father. I'm a dog owner, and I walk on the planet. So
Recording in progress. Recording in progress. Recording in progress. Recording in progress. Recording in progress.
That's
So
Yeah,
if you're,
somebody's
if you're
mic
trying to
on.
record it,
yeah.
we're recording it, so you don't need to.
Yeah. I'm going to mute. I think what
Hi,
we'll do.
Stephen. And but thank you for coming off camera, Yusufu. It's good to see you and welcome. Anyway, we're here to explore the notion of being able to follow through and do what you intend to do and be able to create and manifest the kind of world or life or business that you'd like. And I'm just pleased as punch to be here with Sandra and with you, with each of you.
Yeah, thank you, Rex, and to all of you. Really, this section will be very interactive, and that's why I said make sure your chat's going, make sure you're on camera. We will provide you some valuable tools and tips and a process
And why don't
to move you
and while
forward.
we're doing that, why don't we just take a moment and let everybody introduce themselves kind of quickly?
Absolutely. Yep, you
So
betcha.
we learn a little bit about each of them. Thank
Yeah,
you.
sure. Sounds good.
And not just us, but each other.
Yeah. Why don't we start with Nancy?
Oh, hey. My name is Nancy, and I live in Alaska. It's 0 here today, so I'd like to
Oh, wow.
manifest some warmer weather. That would be nice. I've kind of been a student of thoughts or things and are creative for a long, long time. And I discovered Rex's book recently, and I think, like I told you when I emailed you, it's taken everything I've learned so far and just bumped it up to the next level and has really accelerated my learning and my ability to apply that to my life. So,
Okay.
Well, the cool part about that is what you just said. My learning and accelerate what I do. And that's the point. So congratulations on doing it right.
thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about Theodore?
Otherwise known as Ted.
Ted.
Yeah, what about Theodore?
Introduce yourself, kind sir.
So my name is Ted, and I've known Rex. God, Rex, how long have I known you? I've
Like
known
since
Rex.
the 80s, right? 80s or
Yeah.
90s.
So I like to collect information and I'm building companies. So that's what I do. And I've made movies, I've done all kinds of weird stuff.
Neat. And where are you coming in from?
Kansas City.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
The
Appreciate
state
that.
that is flatter than a pancake.
Love it. And why don't we go to, I'm going to hopefully say this correctly, Yusufuyu? Is that correct? Oh, you're on mute. You have to unmute, my friend. Yusufu. Oh, you're still on mute, friend. Let me see if I don't know why you're unmuting.
Hello.
Hello, there you are. Welcome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad to be online with everybody here. I'm from Congo, in Republic Democratic of Congo in Africa. So I live in Benin. So I am a pastor. My pleasure to be online here to understand how I can success in my project, church project, and the other thing. So that I'm here to understand what can be here.
Oh, well, welcome and thank you for joining us from Congo. That's amazing. And what a beautiful gift and a blessing. Thank you so much. That's great. Appreciate you. What about Elise?
Yes, and I wish everybody here a good and a happy New Year.
Oh,
Thank you. Good and happy New Year to you. Wonderful. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you.
Great. We'll
Thank
go to
you
Elise.
too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Lisa Tooley, and I'm currently a care consultant with a company called Seniors Home Services. And we actually offer Medicare funded programs for seniors that a lot of family practices and pharmacies actually aren't aware of that are available. So we're really just getting going with this and spreading the word. There are a number of consultants now throughout the United States, and so it's very exciting work, and I really feel a passion for it. I have my 93-year-old mom on one of the programs that helps with like cognitive function, balance, working memory, just prevention of falls, and in some cases even the delay of onset, like of dementia and Alzheimer's. So I feel like this is really important work. And then as far as my own goals go, I just really want to continue to build wealth so that I can give most of it away.
Mm.
I just want to help. I'm a big wildlife person, very much a nature person. I care a lot about those that don't have a voice, including children as well in other countries, in our own countries here in North America. And also a dual citizen, and I live currently with my mom. I'm caretaking her.
Wow.
And I'm on upstate New York, Thousand Island area.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
well,
welcome. Thank you, Elise.
Thank
glad
you.
that you're here.
Uh,
We also
perfect.
encourage everybody who can to come off camera. One of our buddies has said that he's having camera problems,
Yeah.
but if you come off camera, please do. So continue, Susan.
Yeah.
with
Yeah. Susan, please.
Sandra,
Love to learn a little bit about where you're coming in from and a little bit about yourself. Thank you.
My name is Sue Roskoff. I am in the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area, and trying to think how long I've known Rex. We actually go back a little while from Pewaukee Lake Water Ski Club. We actually were part of a ski show team together. His son was a
flyer
skier with us, and it was a lot of fun. It still is. We've actually, I've been skiing with them now for, I think I'm coming up on season 29. And also work at a local university as the life sciences lab coordinator. And we do a lot of podcasting. We have our own World of Ability podcast that we do, and that we have a lot of different things that we're in the midst of, and always looking to grow and learn more. So glad to be here.
Awesome. Thank you. And I love the history. I can just imagine those early days. So that's wonderful. Thank you. And what about Joel? Welcome, Joel.
Oh,
Thank
Joel.
you.
Oh, we all know Joel.
Rex and I have known each other a number of years. So through, I can't remember, it's through Jonathan or Doug. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's a good
First
question. Well, I don't know. It's a great question, but love you, good
Either
character.
way, so do NLP and hypnosis and some energy work, but mostly coaching in the NLP and hypnosis field. And these days I'm doing more work on the somatic side. I think the body is ignored much too much. There's just, such much rich natural information in there, and just a great way to work with people. So, and I'm here just to sit at the feet of one of the masters and see what new information I can use for myself or the people I work with.
Yeah, that's so wonderful. And welcome, Joel. And I love the connections. And it speaks to the importance of, I'm just going to mute just for a second. There we go. Okay, perfect. The importance of doing good work and being in that connection, because the legacy, the legacy of what is working, the processes that work well now, work well also into the future as well. So it's really cool to hear about these great successes and the connections and the learnings that you have through Rex. And so I'm excited about today because there's lots of new information, and there's also some great older information that we want to touch base on and retouch and reprogram, if we may, which is really cool. And so Ava, over to you, beautiful friend.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ava Manuel. I am a student of Rex Sikes, and very much transformed and affected by his work. I always say I had 2 months of depression where I just laid on the couch for 2 months. It was crying, but what they didn't know was every morning I came to Rex's room in the clubhouse room at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it got me out of bed.
True.
And was working on Life on Your Terms book. And then at that time, Rex also, we started with the NLP program, home study program. And there was something that you taught. This is my first time actually sharing this. There was something that you taught about creating the energy. If you can do that anyway, why don't you produce it? And you talked about how the body positions and so I started to apply that and transformed my life back into getting myself out of the hump. So I am so grateful for Rex's work. If you get the opportunity, well, you actually do have the the opportunity to work with Rex, I promise you it will transform your life. And Sandra is an amazing friend with such great work. Her book is actually AD Los Angeles Tribune, along with Rex's critically acclaimed bestseller for transformational impact. So thank you.
Oh,
Well,
thank
you
you.
should say that you're the editor-in-chief of the Los Angeles Tribune. I don't think
Yes, I am the editor-in-chief of the Los Angeles Tribune.
Yeah,
Thank
and thank you again, Evan. And you know, again, we're elevating each of us and sharing who we are and where we're coming from. I think that's a really important connection, and we can never really truly underestimate the importance of that openness and that generosity. And thank you for sharing, each and every one of you who have shared yourselves with this community in this moment. So why don't we go over here? And if you're able to come off of camera, like onto camera, that would be absolutely wonderful. I know, Robert, you have some tech issues, so thank you for letting us know. Why don't we head over here to, is it Edie or Eddie? I'm not sure if you're able to come off and onto camera. There you are. Hello. Welcome, welcome.
Hi,
Hello. Welcome, welcome, Eddie. Is it
it's evening.
Edie?
Yeah, hi, it's Eddie. It's
Eddie.
evening in Nigeria. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It's Edidion. It means blessing. I'm from Nigeria. I saw the post on LinkedIn from one of my mentors. His name is Arafat. I don't know if I can pronounce it
Yes,
well.
Arafat. Yes,
So,
that's
well,
nice.
okay, so I'm a master's student in Nigeria, and I normally follow him up on LinkedIn and Facebook. I'm always inspired by his coach and mentoring classes. So that's why I'm here. This is my first time, and I just pray I get along and understand what's happening in this master class. Thank
Wonderful.
you so much.
Great. Thank you so much, Eddie, for joining us from Nigeria. That's wonderful. We appreciate you being here. And I thanks to Arafat also for, you know, supporting this initiative. I know in India, it's the timing. So we will be looking at doing some of these later. So it's a little bit nicer time zone for some of our friends around the globe. So why don't we turn over? I know Michael just sent a quick message that he may not be able to come off onto camera. So thank you, Michael. I know he's a good friend of ours. I appreciate that. And also with, how about Lorna? Lorna, are you able to come off and just introduce yourself? Where are you coming in from? Let me hold space for Lorna. Thank you, Lorna. I'm not sure if Lorna is able to join us. All
Well,
right.
let's move to the next. Let's move
Yeah,
to
Robert.
and we'll
Robert's
get
not
back
able to.
for Robert, and then we'll get back to
Yeah.
Lorna.
Hi. Yeah, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm continuing to play in the NLP and neurosemantics sandbox, and since about 1989 or so. And I got to know Rex as he was launching the design human engineering program back in the early 90s. And so I'm just trying to keep my tools sharp and keep up with whatever's going on. And so I thought I'd hop in and see what I can learn today.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and great that you have that former connection and continued connection with Rex. I appreciate that. And Dwight, and then we'll get moving
Mr.
forward.
Parks, it's just great that you're here. I appreciate you, and I'm happy to have known you all these years. Thank you.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
And Dwight, if you're able to come off of mic. Okay. Dwight, we'll get back to you. I'm not able to come on, just listening in. Okay, well, thank you so much. If you can in the chat. And oh, perfect. Thanks, Lorna. You're coming in from the Canary Islands. Wow, that's wonderful. And appreciate this global community that we are creating today. So as we move forward, truly our intention, and I wanted to, yeah, go ahead.
There's Stephen there
Where's
and
Stephen?
Michael.
Oh yeah, sorry. Michael wasn't able to. He said he's only be able to be on this side just
He
to
what?
listen. He's on the side. He says he can't speak right now.
Michael
Yeah.
said that? Where?
Yep. It was a private note to me, Rex.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. I think
How
we
about Stephen?
have.
Stephen, come on. And Dwight, good to see you. I know Dwight
Okay.
for a long time. I actually was he was a mentor of mine. He was somebody who correct me if I'm wrong, right, Dwight? Goes back a number of years through some other programs, and he was the guy who called me every week, like accountability, check up on me.
Wow. I love that. Having accountability partners is so, so important as we all know. So if it's okay with everyone, I always love to, let's open up our minds, let's get ourselves going. And for those who study NLP, one of the best ways, I always love doing a little bit of cross crawling. Let's just break open, let's open ourselves up. And so I want us all, if you can stand or even in your chair, whatever you can do, is take your right hand and let's raise it up and then cross it over to our left leg. Let's do this now. And then change over to your left over arm over towards your other right knee and just do a little bit of that cross crawling. And why we're doing that is just moving our bodies, stretching us, opening up, building up those connections because it's so important because this is not just your regular session, is it? No, we got Rex Sikes, we've got you here. We want to bring the energy, and I'm super excited about this opportunity because truly, all right, we feeling better, feeling a little bit more movement wherever you are in your time zone. All right, so
Can I add another one?
yeah, you betcha.
My all-time favorite, usually done standing,
Yep.
but it's okay. You slap your hips twice.
Yep.
Bring your hand up to your nose, your other hand to the ear.
Yes.
Bring
love
it
that
back
one.
down, slap twice, and reverse it.
Yep.
And
We're opening ourselves up to possibilities, new learnings, rewiring ourselves because it's fundamental. Because if we don't change what we're doing, guess what happens? We're always going to get the same results. So let's open up that wiring. And I want to welcome who is new, who's come in. Hi, Tony. Welcome, welcome. Welcome. Tony is new to us coming in. Tony, we're just getting started. I'm Sandra Horton along with Rex Sikes and all our beautiful friends here. Love to hear Tony. Quickly, where are you coming in from? And welcome to the community.
Tampa, Florida.
Oh, welcome, Tony. Great. I appreciate that. And so we're just getting going. And so with this being said, Rex, I feel that for this beautiful community, that one of the most important things for us is to connect to our hearts, to all of you, to show you, to share with you what we're going to work towards today that really will connect you to that next level. Because this will be interactive. We're going to be doing activities. We're going to give you tips and tools and lots of strategies and a process in a psychologically safe way. This is a safe space. Everyone's voice matters. You matter. We care about you. We want you to enjoy your time with us over the next hour or so. And one of our commitments to you, one of our goals today is to find a way, irregardless of where you are in your journey, how much you may know or not know, to be able to be successful in 2025, to have a better year with intention, to be able to move yourself, reach your goals. Our intention today is to be able to show you a process, something that will give you different results. Perhaps you may want to use it today, but you will be able to use it down the road as well. What if we could, with deliberate intention, be able to set your goals in a way that it's easier to receive it, to achieve it? Would that be something that you would be interested in learning, be interested in participating? For me, I said yes. And I'm hoping you're saying yes. In 2025, the most important thing that we can do is set our intentions. Direct our mind to be able to achieve something that perhaps we haven't been able to do before. So that's why we're here. That's why we want to come with you, to come with us, to go down this journey today, to explore, to unpack, perhaps even for some of us to get maybe really excited or maybe some stretching opportunities. There's so much here, so much opportunity for all of us today. And so I invite you, though, to be open. Can you all say with me now or put in the chat, I am open. I'm open to new possibilities, new opportunities, new ways of doing things. Can everybody come off mic? Because this is really important. Our intention of how we approach this, guess what? If we have low or less activity, are we going to get the results? No. So let's bring our energy, let's put a smile on our face, let's open ourselves up. And we're going to explore a little bit now about not only talking about intentions, but the mindset. And I thank you so much for answering those two questions when you first came in here. That was awesome. You showed up for yourself. You answered those questions honestly, and we heard you. We understand that mindset and looking at ways to overcome, these are important aspects. Along with that, the most important thing is if we're going to get our mindset right and we're going to be able to achieve and move forward, we have to learn. We have to make an intention to set better outcomes, well-formed outcomes. And maybe perhaps for you today, that will be setting the intention to do a well-formed outcome around changing your mindset, getting your thinking right. So this is all going to be wrapped up into this next little series, this new process that you can bring to anything and all things that you have today. Rex, did you want to add anything into that? I just wanted to make sure I'm getting your involvement. And
well, we're here to support you in beginning and through 2025, and to assist you should you need assistance in making the kind of dreams or goals or lifestyle that you want to have happen. And one of the ways that we do that is to address some of the things that seem to hold people back, or some of the challenges that people face. And some of you have a background with me or in NLP, and others you might not. So, but we're going to take this step by step. It's like, how do you eat an elephant? We go bite by bite. So, whenever we're ready to begin, we'll begin with a little bit of stuff about your energy and the way you are.
I am ready. I hope the show of thumbs, hands. Are we ready? Let's bring that positive energy. Woohoo! All right.
So if you know this, play along. If you don't know this, play along.
Fun.
Here's the deal. So, you hear a lot of times about the difference between, say, someone who's upset, angry, and what's going on in their body, and somebody who's happy and what's happening in their body. And today now, since the advent of NLP, you hear about power poses, which have been around since ancient times in the East, in the West, the Greeks and the Indians, the Asians, all of them have utilized their bodies to change how they're feeling and to change how they're thinking. And they use their thinking and their feelings to change their bodies. So first off, let's start with, when we see somebody on the street who's noticeably sad, which we would judge sad, how are they usually sitting or standing or walking? What do they usually do? Typically, they're going to have their head down, their shoulders, their chest is sunken, right? I mean, they may sigh a lot. They kind of maybe shuffle, Now, they may not be sad. They could be looking for money on the street, but they might also just be sad, So how do you know when someone's no longer sad, or when they're confident? How do they stand or walk or sit? Yeah, they have their shoulders back, typically the chin is out, the eyes are up or straight ahead. They've got a look on their face. Breathing is different. The way they use their bodies. So how you use your body really matters, because if you can tell when somebody's upset, somebody's angry, somebody's sad, someone's, and then when they're confident or they're related or they're secure, their physiology is very different. So here's the thing. A lot of people complain that they just don't have enough energy. Now, whenever I start my programs, I always tell people you're responsible for your state of consciousness, meaning people say, well, I'm here to learn. I go, okay, well, then you need to be in that state where you learn the best. You need to be sitting and looking and feeling the way it's best and easiest for you to learn. And usually it's not like this. It's not like this. Where people screw up their face going, what? I don't get it. So I want you to do this. I want you to sit as if you have no energy at all. You're tired, listless, no energy, just whatever. Somebody says, could you get me something? You go, oh God, you go get it. I don't want to get it. You've been there like that. Okay, now sit like the energy you had when you were here a moment ago. Huh? It's different. You did the little thing. So you could do that, right? Now go back to the way when you had no energy. And I'm assuming the people off camera are doing the same. Because if you want the experience, you have to do it. Not enough to just watch it. All right, now sit like you have the energy that you had when you were here a moment ago. Great. Okay, cool. Now, from where you are right now, sit as if you had 2 times more energy. Move, sit, do what you have. You got 2 times more energy.
Yeah.
How are you looking? How are you breathing? What are you doing with your body? If you were speaking, what would your voice sound like? You got 2 times more energy. Now double that. You got 4 times more energy.
Yay!
Then you can walk around if you want. You can stand up. You can do whatever you want. You have 4 times more energy. 4 times more energy. All right. Now do double that. You have 8 times more energy. You look like, right? I have 8 times more energy. All right. Now, how many feel better with 8 times more energy? Yeah,
Absolutely, Rex.
Put it down, or put a 1 in the chat room or something like that. I feel better with 8 times more energy. Here's the important thing. You did that by just saying, I'm going to have 2 times more energy. And shift your body. I have 4 times more. I have 8 times more energy. So you can't ever say, I don't have enough energy, because you have it available to you. In fact, you're a battery walking around on the planet. If you believe in quantum physics, and I certainly do, or physics in general, we're all energy. All there is energy. So it's not whether you have energy or don't have energy, it's how you manage your energy. Energy management comes from something that you actively do. It's what you think, it's how you use your body, it's what you feel, it's how you say, how you behave. That's what gives energy. So if you're tired in the morning, you don't have to go, oh, I need coffee before I can do anything. Although that's how some people do it. You go, I'm going to do it myself. And then you can have your coffee decaf or caffeinated. It doesn't matter. But if you act like you have the energy, it's an important principle, and Napoleon Hill said it. If you can conceive it and bring yourself to believe it, you can achieve it. And in order to live in a particular reality, you first have to be able to conceive of that reality. If you can't conceive of it, how are you ever going to be there? So the first thing is to what we just did there, very simply. Here's your energy. Now do 2 times. In order for you to have done 2 times, you had to somehow imagine what that would be like. And move your body, and then 4 times, and then 8 times. So we could double it again and have 16 times more energy. Okay. So understand that you have this responsibility, that is to manage your state of consciousness, how you go into a situation, how you experience it in a situation, and how you come out of that situation is within your purview. It's within your control. And understanding that creates all sorts of incredible freedom to be who you are and to access who you are and to get to know your body and to have the kind of positive physical healing health changes that are available to you when you do. So was that fun? Do you understand that you have this opportunity now to use this anytime you want? And you can say 1 or whatever you'd like, but if that's the case, then I'm going to pass it back to Sandra and say, good job, everyone.
Thank you. And you know what's so cool? That whether you've done that before or you've done that 10,000 times, doesn't it feel better? I don't know about you, but today, yes, it's a Friday. We've come off of like, could be a wonderful holiday or it could be a challenging holiday. It could be you're feeling tired, but being able to understand. Breathe in.
I'm gonna share one more thing.
Yeah,
I'm stepping in.
go step in.
In my workshops, Ted and Robert and some of the people may remember this, Mike, those people who've been there in Ava. And that is that the Sufis have a way of understanding energy, and we'll do that. Okay. It's very important that you get this. So it's a visualization. I want you to imagine it's like this. Imagine as you stand there that there's this energy coming down from the sky, right? Some call it a golden light, a white light, whatever. And it's coming down and it's coming through the top of your head and see it cascade out over your body. And it's just incredible, vibrant, electric energy. And it's going down and it's going through you, down your spine to your tailbone, and then down your legs and out into the ground. And it's vibrating every inch of you, every cell, every fiber of your being, every neuron, right? And as you feel that energy, imagine like, what they do in Tai Chi, they bring their hands up like this, so that they can feel the energy, right? So bring your hands up, and here's what you do. Put your hands in front of you. Ready? Got your hands, put them up in front of the camera so everybody can see. And now go.
You feel it.
Yeah, how do you feel?
Cool.
Yeah, it's the that does it. All the other stuff is fluff. It doesn't really matter. You could go, if you're not feeling well, you go into the bathroom at work or whatever, and you go in the stall, and you're going to change your state. And it's important to be able to do that. In some cases, it's a pattern interrupt when you're having a bad day or things aren't going well. In other days, it's just adding goodness to what you want to do. Was that fun? Plus,
That
you
was
can teach it
fun.
to a little kid and they get a big kick out of it.
I love it. And that's what we do here. This is why we're just organic. We're just flowing. And Rex, you know what? Continue to jump in all the time because each of us, we receive things interestingly different, don't we? What you hear, what you're seeing, what your experience is different. We're all different, but yet we have a common connection, don't we? We have a connection with our heart. We have a connection from our heart to our mind and our mind to a higher calling and consciousness. Whatever that is, that source, the universe, God, whatever it is for you, it's being able to understand that we're not just this, we're more than that. So today, to truly move in momentum, I want to shift us a little bit. I want to shift us now that we're really engaged and we're awake and we've had an experience. I want us to dive into what brought us here today. Remember that commitment we made at the very beginning? Our goals is we want to give you some intentions, a new process, maybe a reminder of a process to use today, now perhaps, and later. I want to dive into why are you here? What made you want to come today? I want you to bring it to your mind, to your reflection. Perhaps you came here because there was something that maybe you're thinking about this year's resolution. Perhaps it's the same resolution as last year. Or perhaps there's something that's so frustrating for you right now that you're like, I don't know how to get over this, but I want to get over it. I want to get in momentum. I want to understand the power of the words. So what is it that you came here to explore? What is it that you came here to dig into? Are there pain points in your life that are causing you some challenges? Do you feel stuck? This happens to everyone. So as we check in with ourselves, I'd love to dig in now and unlock, release. What is it? What drove you here? What is it that you're looking to understand or to set a goal towards with intention? Anyone want to be brave enough, courageous enough to share What brought you here? What is it? What is your what? What is your want in this moment? Who would like to jump off and share with us? What do you want? What brought you here? Who would like to be brave enough?
I will.
Oh, thank you.
I have my life. I turned 60 a couple of months ago, and through the circumstances of the last year, I'm starting completely fresh. So my next 60 years are going to be the best ever. A lot of things have fallen into place, this being one of them, finding you guys. And so as a part of some of those changes, I am looking towards moving ahead, and I would just like more information on manifesting that and moving forward with it with momentum. That's what I'm doing here today.
I love that. Yes, 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 yes. We receive that. And we are going to work on that together today to support you to receive that and to achieve that. I love that. Begin the process now for doing that. Anyone else want to be brave? Or you can put it in the chat if you want to share in the chat now. That's always another option. Some people prefer to share in the chat versus speaking it out. We'll take maybe just a couple more because I want to make sure we're aligned to really understand so we can focus and hone in on our next section here. So anyone else want to share? How about one of our other brave souls from a different continent? How about Tony or anyone else who's loving to be able to share with us? What is it that what brought you here? What is your what? Oh, wonderful. Thanks, Elise. I want to go beyond any limiting beliefs that I continue to have. I want to push beyond any boundaries that may be keeping me from doing the outreach and growth I want to accomplish. I love that. Thank you for that clarity. Thank you for the words that are very directed. That is really powerful. I appreciate that.
You're
Excellent.
welcome.
Thank you so much. Anyone else want to share? I'm going to open this up. Just again, put it in the chat or come off of camera, come on to camera and share. And as we're just holding space for others to share today, what is it? What was that intention? I'm here to recharge, refocus, and restart. I love that. Thank you, Tony. And in recharging, what is it with purpose? When we look at our mindset, what do we need to have in order to recharge, to refocus, and restart? One of the things that we can look at is how do we frame that intention? And Rex, I'm going to jump over to you about the principles around the importance of intention, of understanding for ourselves, how do we set that intention?
Well, that's a great place to go. And it's one of my favorite places because I'm going to address what Elise said and what Tony said. I'm not picking on you, so just know that I respect you. But when we did the energy thing, and I said, sit as if you don't have energy, and then sit as if you do, what you came with, and then double it. You didn't seem to have a problem with that, did you? Anybody? I mean, it's always how much you're willing to play, certainly, but I mean, it was a fairly easy thing to do, right? But you also didn't know what I was inviting you to do. So unless you did, you didn't know where it was going to go. So, you're curious, you're playful, you're here in a program. So, okay, I'll do it. Now think about you and who you are, and you have a body, but you're not your body. You're the owner of a body. You carry one around with you. You don't take it off and put it on, except maybe transitioning, before you got here and after you leave here. But the point is that you still have a body that is there for you to use. And as I said, you are energy, so you have more than enough energy. All your cells are light. They're energy. They're enough to power a city block, for goodness sakes. And yet people, part of the reason why is because of what they say in their head. They go, I don't have any energy. I don't feel good. I don't have this. and they own not having something. So the stories that we tell ourselves. So why I said I'm going to invite Elise when you, and I love it because it's true, but you say, I want to go beyond my limiting beliefs. Why are they yours? And how do you know they're limiting? I mean, they're serving a purpose. So it may not be, they may be not serving you the way you want to be served now, but they aren't yours. They're things that you've done, but they're not you. They're like your body. It's something that you use, but aren't your beliefs. And same with Tony. I'm here to recharge, refocus, and restart. That's so beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. And yet you can anytime you choose. You say, I'm starting now. This is the day. Today's the first day of the rest of your life. So the key is this, what do we tell ourselves on a regular basis? And for so many people, they tell themselves not such glorious things. They say, I'm stuck, I have a problem. I have somebody who keeps saying, my challenge is this. I go, stop using the word challenge unless you're climbing Mount Everest or rock climbing somewhere or doing something exciting, because that's a challenge. This is a challenge. Not I'm challenged. That's just another substitute for problem, And so the point is be in the same way that you were willing to explore playing with more energy, be willing to play with changing the language that you use to tell the stories that you've been telling. And the only reason you tell them is because they're habits and they're as old as you are, or almost, not quite. And they're picked up from other people, and they're other people's problems, they're other people's patterns, they're other people's habits, they're other people's beliefs, they're other people's stuff that you and I have acquired. I am bigger than the body, energy, field, and around. Exactly. I am worthy. I am enough. It's the reason why people have difficulty understanding this is because it seems like it's so close to us, and we've done it for so long. So that pattern interrupt that you do, or any pattern interrupt that you, is really useful to have whenever you start going down a negative rabbit hole. Whenever you start saying something that you don't want to say, I'm stupid, I'm fat, I'm ugly, nobody likes me, I'm gonna eat some worms, those kinds of things. That's when you interrupt them. And I'm going to tell you this, and then I'll pass it back to Sandra. But the thing is, there's a reason why you do fire drills. So when there's a fire, you know where to go in advance of the fire so that you can get to safety. So if you practice in advance of when you need it, when suddenly there's crisis, suddenly something bad is happening, you take over. The reason why athletes who are champion athletes get so good is because they train themselves that when the starting pistol goes off or the whistle or whatever, they go into body memory. They go into a pre-program through their conditioning process to be able to excel in that moment as they never would otherwise. Okay. They can't at that moment go, okay, I'm going to win this race. I'm going to win this race. They have to be already there. So they do some very particular things with their mind and with their body that brings them the success that they want to do or that they want to have. And Napoleon Hill said, you can't control outer circumstances until you first control here. And so this is what we want all of us, myself included, all of us, to gain control over the mastery process of those things we say to ourselves or we imagine for ourselves or we conceive of ourselves. Remember, in order to live in a reality, you have to be able to conceive of that reality. So if the reality is something you don't want, what does it tell you? You've imagined it, you've conceived it, and now you just reinforce it. You just perpetuate it. And I'm here to say, stop perpetuating the old patterns and attempt to do something new. Restart, recharge, and begin over, because you can.
I love that, Rex. And I want to, everyone just breathe, take that in, and then release. Excuse me. I did that too deep.
Be careful.
So while Sandra is breathing differently, one of the things that is really important, and why we started with the energy and that kind of stuff, is because the more fun you have, the more delight you have, the more laughter you have, the easier it is to transform. If you look at little kids, they learn more through play, through being curious, through running and skipping and jumping than they ever do sitting in a classroom. Because once they sit in the classroom, they're told, you must pay attention, this is important, you need to do this. And they're going like, do I know it? Do I not know it? And then they give you a test and they mark like 98 wrong and go, you have 98 wrong, you're stupid. Instead of going, you have 2 right. Do it again, maybe you get 4 right. Do it after that, maybe you get, who knows? But 2 right is incredible. I mean, think about it. Why do we judge people for what they can't yet apprehend or can't yet hold in their mind and say that they're wrong? But that's society. That's what we do. That's what we've grown up with. So the key is to stop saying that to ourselves and to give ourselves permission to live, to love, to laugh, to have energy, to have fun, to be curious, to get captivated, and have become completely fascinated. If you thought about your troubles, let's call them that, and went, wow, I do that really well. I am a pro. I wonder how I got to be so good at having that problem. It's different than going, I'm stuck, I'm crappy, nobody likes me, I'm going to eat worms. So if you change what you do, you change your approach, you change how you view something. You know, it was not apparently Wayne Dyer who said, if you change the way you look at things, things change. It was actually Max Planck, the German physicist, talking about energy in the world and how if you change how you view, because in physics, it's about the observer changing what's going on. I don't want to get too heady or deep here or any of that kind of stuff, but the point is, there she is. Timing is everything, so we'll save that for time.
I took too deep a breath, Rex. Oh my goodness. So
I'll be grateful that you could.
Wow, that was a moment. So one of the things that I really I'm just going to let my voice do whatever my voice needs to do because just releasing it, practicing.
Right
releasing.
there, right what you're doing. One of the best things you can do for yourself is to sigh.
And don't breathe too deep in front of people.
I'm not talking about the sigh that a teenager gives you when they go, oh, God, are you for real?
Yeah, it's all good.
That kind of stuff. Well, you just allow yourself to be bathed by your own breath and your own sound, and you just release and you let go in a big, deep sigh. Same kind of thing happens after you've laughed really hard, and you're like, better breath, and it's like,
absolutely. No, it's really beautiful, and I wanted to share with all of us that life happens, doesn't it? Our voice, our voice happens. And in this moment, being able to pattern interrupt. I'm a living example right now. Being able to stop, look, reframe, breathe, release, stand back in your own power. There it is. It's a living example of what we can do. So just like when we're setting our resolutions for this year, we may have come in with so much energy, but yet, is there something inside you? Maybe those little limiting thoughts, those little beliefs, maybe it's in your gut. You're telling me like, I don't know. Do I really have this? Can I really do this? Anyone resonate with that? Anyone had like a couple years where you go, you know, can I achieve these things? We want to pattern interrupt. We want to stop it. Raise our energy and start fresh. Start with a new way of accomplishing these things. Getting control of our mind. And how we can do that, as someone who's a change management expert, and I do this day in and day out, is we have to get uncomfortable with the uncomfortableness and shift how we look at change. And how do we do that? We have to think differently. We have to feel differently. We have to do differently. You know, William Bridges talks about how we have the old way of doing, we go into this gray zone. Has anyone been in a gray zone lately? And it's like, I'm uncomfortable, and then I have this new way, this new resolution that I want to move forward. That's another way of looking at this. Change is constant. We're constantly changing. It's how do we approach, how do we embrace, what do we feel about change? So this process that we want to take you through is really asking you, it's inviting you truly into embracing change opportunity as a learning, not as an obstacle, not as something that's to be feared or overdone to try to eliminate. I've done that. We have to begin with a process, a purposeful intention in order to move ourselves forward. So I'm going to invite you to write on a piece of paper now or in the chat, where are you at in your heart of hearts right now, in this moment? How do you see change? Do you fully embrace it, or do you resist it? This is important. It really, truly is important when we get into the process, just so we understand where we're at in this moment. Where are you on that change process? Just put in the chat. One is, I am not embracing change. And 5 is, yes, I'm fully engaged. I see change as a learning opportunity. I'm going to embrace these challenges. Where are you at? Can you just put in the chat now? Awesome. Thanks, Elise. I appreciate you. Awesome. And it's okay. It doesn't matter where you're at, as long as we're honest with ourselves.
Well, you know, another thing about that is that most people want change, but they fear it.
Yeah.
And the weird part about it is they fear change, but they want it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it goes both ways. So the key to being successful in terms of changing, to understand that most people won't move or do anything to change unless they're kicked in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've heard, oh, they have to bottom out, or it has to get bad enough, or this, that, and the other thing. But, you know, in other words, if you're in a comfort zone, what would make you move out of your comfort zone? I'm comfortable. I don't need to move. Why would I do that? And here's the really sad news, is some people are truly comfortable with suffering and pain and carrying it around their entire lives. And they're proud of it. They'll go, I've been suffering for 55 years. You have no idea how much I suffer, or the equivalent. So, oh, at least they're proud of it, I guess. But the point is that in order to change, you have to be open to change and willing to change. And most people, though they say, and I'm not talking about anyone here, but most people who say, yes, I'm willing to change, aren't. They just truly aren't. And that's okay. But the point is to really go, if I'm really open and willing to change, what would I be willing to do for myself to demonstrate to me that I am willing to change? I don't mean you have to go skydiving or break a board or do a fire walk or any of that kind of stuff. I'm saying, what is it that you could do that would demonstrate to you that you're open to changing? Because what happens with most people, they say, tell me how to change. And you go, well, do this. And they go, well, yeah, no, I've tried that already. And you say, well, how about that? And they go, no, I've tried that too. You go, well, what about this? They go, no, I've done all of that. In fact, the person who says, I've tried everything, well, couldn't. I mean, just couldn't. But they're convinced that they have. So this is why it goes back to, if you can conceive it and bring yourself to believe it, you can achieve it. And what for most people have done is that they conceive of themselves as broken, as stuck, as of challenged, as having a persisting problem that they can't somehow overcome. And they brought themselves to believe it. And guess what? They achieve it. And they live it that way.
It's what you believe.
So if you'd like to be free, you do something different. But to do something different, you have to be willing to do something different, because if you keep doing the same things, you keep getting the same results. That's why the same people tell the same stories for 50, 60 years going, oh, you have no trouble I've seen, because they keep telling it. So you have to tell a different story to yourself, and you have to use your body in a different way. You have to use your head in a different way. If you use your thinking differently, you'll use your feelings differently. You use your words differently, then you behave differently, so you get different results. That's why Napoleon Hill said, if you can conceive it, you can bring yourself to believe it, you can achieve it. And Henry Ford said, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're absolutely correct. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are correct. The key is how do you get to be open? The minute you say the 3 most dangerous words in the English language are, I know that, I got that, yep, I don't, that's what I do, I got it, okay, yeah. All it indicates is that you're just not ready to change yet, which is why the Zen master said, go empty your cup before I can put tea in your cup, if you're familiar with that story.
Yeah. And I like how Nancy has put, ask yourself, what one simple thing can I do today to make my life better? Love that. Yes. Powerful. Thank you, Nancy. It really is. It comes back again, why we're doing what we're doing today. It's just to raise that awareness within you, to invite you into that self-discovery, that moment of reflection. I asked the question, what do you want? What brought you here? So we're going to shift a little bit now and be very purposeful with an intention. We're going to ask ourselves on a piece of paper, if you have one beside you, what can you write down? What was it? What is one goal, one thing in your life right now that you want to achieve? What is the most important thing? Like if you were to wake up right now, like if you went to bed and you woke up in the morning, what is that one thing that you want to be doing? That one action that you're going to do each and every day to move towards this goal. In 2025, I want to be on a stage talking to 1,000 people. I want to get a new job. I want to live more abundantly. I want to have a better attitude. Whatever it is right for you. So what is it that you want? Write that down now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to share some principles, because remember we began at the very beginning to talk about if we're going to shift our mindset, we have to start with making it a goal. So pick that goal, and we're going to go through the principles of how we can do. And I think this is still relevant, Rex, looking at that well-formed outcome.
Yeah.
Because a well-formed outcome is something that I found very, very powerful. And for those who study with Rex, you may know this and some may not. So we're going to go through some of the principles, if I may, Rex,
Sure.
about, let's just put this down. There's 6 different things about a well-formed outcome. And I'm going to go through first the principles of this. So the most important thing, if we're going to reach our goal and have a well-formed outcome, this is where we're going towards. The first principle is we need to state it as an outcome that's positive. It has to be something that's a positive nature to you. Something that's going to be seen as a favorable outcome. It needs to be listed in sensory specific language. What I mean by that is like, what can you feel? What do you see? What do you experience? What are all of the senses that are wrapped around that outcome? Because we know if we don't feel it, are you really going to achieve it? No, it's going to be a wish. It's going to be a dream. So we need to be very clear and specific around that sensory specific language. We need to have it initiated by you and maintained by you. Rex, do you want to add to that? Thoughts?
I'll add after you go through those, because there's some things I would like to add. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And it needs to be ecological. It means it doesn't do any harm to anyone else.
Or yourself.
Or yourself. And you need to be sure that you can test it. that it's something that makes sense. You can go and test it and actually see it, measure it, evaluate it. Those are the key principles. Rex, over to you. Thoughts?
So here's the thing. Do you have well-formed outcomes? Do you have a statement that you put down for yourself somewhere? Anybody want to share one? And if you say, I want so-and-so or such and such, you can leave out, you don't even have to say, you don't have to reveal anything. But is there something that you have as an intention?
Let's see.
If somebody wants to share, fine. If not, I'll just continue.
Yeah. I see on the Lorna has a few points there. Assist others to assist themselves to a happier, healthier future. Oh, sorry, love, joy, and laughter.
Is that the okay, awesome. Okay. So some people, here's the thing. You know, it should be stated in the positive, which means it shouldn't say, I don't want this, because that's what you don't want. It's what I do want. And understand that a want, first off, tells you you don't have it. If you want a car, why would you want a car? Because I want another car. So you might have one, but I want one. It means I don't have it. I want that car. I don't have that car. I want it. So if you're thinking, I want, you're telling yourself over and over and over again, I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have it. So stated in the positive isn't just, I want a car, like a release 40 pounds. Okay, excellent. But what is the weight that you want to be at? Like your ideal weight is what? You don't have to share that with us or anything, but the idea being to release 40 pounds is better than saying I want to lose it, because people don't like to lose things. So I agree with you there. But what is it that you want? What's the target? It's kind of like if I'm going to throw darts, I need to know where the target is, because if I just throw darts and the target's over there, I'm going to not, so you have to aim at what it is you want. So that's one thing. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say, so I guess we'll just forget it.
You're good?
So first, you know where you want to go. Because if you don't know where you want to go, you can't get there. And you say, I'm going to go to New York. You don't say, I don't want to be in Nebraska. You have to say, I want to be in New York. Okay. So can you conceive of being in New York? Can you conceive of being your ideal weight? Can you conceive of being happier, healthier? Can you conceive of having a certain amount of money? So some people say, I want $1 billion. And you go, well, you think you can get it? And they go, well, no, not so much. That's not well formed, because if you doubt it, you're not going to get it. If you believe it and conceive it and believe it, so bring yourself to believe it, you can achieve it. So you have to be able to believe you can do it. Because if you don't believe you can do it, you're not going to do it. You understand? I mean, this is why some people don't get what they want, because they don't believe it. They doubt it. They go, I don't know if I'm ever going to do that or not. It's too big of a goal. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. If it's too big of a goal, but that's what you want, means you don't have it. What can you do to get from where you are to the first step, or the first rung on the ladder that would get you to the second rung on the ladder, would get you to the third rung on the ladder, would get you to that $1 billion or that ideal weight or the ideal couple or the whatever it might be. So you work your way up to the big thing step by step, because the first thing it will tell you is to pay attention to how you feel. And that is, if you don't feel like you're going to do it, you're not going to do it. If you doubt that you're going to do it, you're not going to do it. That's why Henry Ford said, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're correct. But he also said, I never let what I cannot do prevent me from what I can do. So what if you have a goal, a big dream, and you don't feel like you can get there? What would be the first step of that big dream that you could do and accomplish that you're certain you could carry out? Because that will move you. That will start getting it going. It's a baby step. It's a bite of the elephant, but that's how you're going to have to get there. And it has to be something that's significant enough that you want to do it, meaningful enough that it's important to do it, but not so big that you're afraid of it or can't do it or doubt that you will. So why do we have hardships and problems? To get off the couch.
It's true. And Rex, thank you, Kathleen, and thanks, Tony. It's interesting because Kathleen puts, release 40 pounds. I love that, how you say release 40 pounds. Brilliant. And then Tony has have 2+ multiple streams of 6-figure income, so I can have free time to do what I want, when I want, for me and my family, and help others.
That's beautiful. So let me chime in with this last thing from me for the moment, and that is your GPS. What do? You put in your destination, right? And your GPS says, I want to be at such and such an address in another part of the city. It knows where you want to go, but what's the first thing it does? It tells you, like, move your car, turn right, get out of the driveway, go down the street, make another turn here. That's how you get things to happen. So you can very much have that, Tony, and make that thing absolutely happen. Thing is to go, okay, if I have 2 multiple streams of income with 6-figure income, so I can, sounds like a great why you want it. Now the first step is what? That will be the step that you need to figure out. But that step should be stated as, I can do this. I can go read a book. I can go learn this. I can take a program. I can invest myself here. I can invest my time or energy. So it gives you, it's that first thing on the GPS that tells you, okay, and then you go to the next one, the next one, the next one, until you get to your destination. And you absolutely can do that. Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you bet.
And Elise has one as well. One well-formed outcome. 25,000 onboarded patients benefiting from Surrey Skills, I hope I said that right, program in 2025.
Cool. So what's the first step, Elise?
Well, the first step would be to reach out to make initial contacts with the family practices and or pharmacies that would be eligible for the program, that have patients already that would be qualified. So I've already made those steps. I've already taken some of those steps. Would be to continue to follow up. I have one large client that has 94 locations. And so I would just continue to encourage them to continue onboarding more and more of those stores.
So I have an important question for you. What's going to keep you going?
You're asking my why,
Yeah.
essentially?
Well, I mean, if it's secret, but what I'm saying is you go, I want 25,000. And so you go, I have to do this, and then I have to follow up. So if you started getting people saying no, or I don't want it, or I'm not interested, what would keep you pursuing it? Yeah.
Well, just the fact that it's so beneficial. It's like there's absolutely no downsides to any of these programs. They're completely win-win situations. It's like nobody loses. The practice actually makes a second income stream from having these patients referred into us. The patients benefit incredibly because of the outcomes that they achieve. And then we as the consultants also benefit because we're paid a dollar amount per patient on those programs, on the program. So I would just continue to hold that vision that this is really a great thing for everybody. And the biggest obstacle really is just a lack of understanding. It's a lack of education and understanding what the program actually is. So grasping the concepts. So I would just continue to educate, continue to reach out, continue to make new inroads with new practices and pharmacies.
Can you do it?
Yes, absolutely. I'm already doing it.
You. I believe you. I believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that fact. I see Kathleen. So Tony says thank you. And then Kathleen goes, release 5 pounds in the next month. I love that. Thank you, Kathleen, again. I love this releasing. Releasing is a very powerful word. Words are powerful, right, Rex? Like, it's interesting when we look at the structure of a well-formed outcome. Number one, what do you want? Get very clear, as we just discussed. And then knowing, how can I get it? putting down into precise with intention, how can I get it? Writing out options, opportunities. What are you able to do that, again, remember we go back to the principles, that's within your control. And I know Rex is going to jump. I saw that.
I was going to say, so how many of you have heard the statement, you don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you are? Anyone hear that before?
Yes.
Yep.
You don't get what you want, you get who you are.
Yeah.
You know, okay, well, so here's something important to consider, because we're talking about it. The well-formed outcome questions that they're traditionally taught is, what do you want? And that makes good sense to people. I think you can change that a little bit. What inspires you to do what you want to do, and what do you intend to do about it? In other words, what do you intend to accomplish? What can I accomplish that I will accomplish? So that it's not that want, but knowing that you don't have it, and it might be, well, I'm not sure how I'm going to get it, is what can I do? What will I do? What am I going to do, you know, today to get me what I intend to have within the next 3 months, 6 months, 5 years, whatever it might be. It's being purposeful. And so many people make it a wish, a want. Napoleon Hill, said, you've got to conceive it, bring yourself to believe it. It's that bringing yourself to believe it that most people miss out on. They think, like, ask, believing you shall receive, and you shall receive. And they go, well, I asked. You go, did you believe you're going to get it? Well, no, I didn't. I doubt it. And you can't, because you have one foot on the dock and one foot on the boat. You don't get anywhere. So you have to commit, either be on the dock or be on the boat, but commit. And if you want to get somewhere, you got to get in the boat, both feet, and go. It's not enough to stand on the dock going, I want to get in the boat and sail. You got to actually do it. Now, everybody knows that action is part of something. I mean, if you want to drink water, you have to ask for it, or you got to go up and get it yourself. So that goes without saying. We could just take that right out of the equation. You're going to have to do something in order to make it happen. Just common sense. How do you get yourself to do something? That's the key. And that's why this is important. Go ahead, Seth.
Yeah. No, and I really appreciate that. And thanks everyone for your attention. And I love this. Lorna goes, I did this today for a parking space. I love that. Thank you for that confirmation. I think that's powerful. But adding to this is, I think, the specificity of knowing how I will have it. I don't know, you've had this experience where you can be directed, I want to do this. You're getting more narrowed down. I know I can do this. I'm inspired to do this. I've written down the how, but yet truly, how will I know I have it? That is something else, that's that next level that I think is very important for us to consider, particularly at this time of year. How will I know? What are my benchmarks? What are my milestones in a realistic time frame? The greatest gift we can give ourselves is to be also realistic. Whatever this goal is, whatever, maybe it's a project, maybe you want to launch a project, you want to launch a new course, or you're maybe bringing a group together. And the thing is, what is a realistic timeline for you? How can you support yourself to be able to say, hey, guess what? In 6 weeks, I want to be here. Have you ever written out an actual timeline? A timeline for how you want to go about delivering this? I find working with many individuals and leaders and organizations, this is the one thing that people forget to do. They come up with these great goals and they have these resolutions, but they're not being specific enough with intention about checking in for yourself, giving yourself a pat on the back, say, hey, yes, I have done this. I've dropped 2 pounds. I've been doing these actions. This is how I'm doing it. I'm going to Weight Watchers or whatever. I'm walking 10,000 steps a day. But then taking time to check it off. Yes, I've reached this goal. The small milestones are really powerful. And one thing too, Rex, I'm going to go to this kind of another principle of a well-formed outcome is if I don't have it, again, it has to be in my control, but if I need to bring in other resources, what are those resources? The resources within me or external that will support us. What resources do I have right now that will help me achieve my outcome? Are there new ways of thinking, new ways of behaving? Yeah, go for it, Rex. Thanks.
No, I just want to point out that because
Mm.
that's such a useful question. Most people don't realize this. You know that everything that you need or could imagine having right now, somebody has somewhere in the world,
Mhm,
Yes.
and you just may not know them yet.
mhm.
So instead of going, there's no money, there's no time, there's no energy, there's no this, who do I need to get to know who can help me in this pursuit? Or what are the resources within me, you know, the
Mhm.
possibilities, you know, the opportunities within me to help me connect up or to connect in that way or to do it myself, whatever. But it's through collaboration and cooperation. Nobody's rich. I mean, nowadays there's digital money and all that kind of stuff, but I mean, every exchange is because you're exchange. I mean, people who get money are exchanging it from somewhere.
Mhm.
So there's always going to be something or someone around you. The problem is if you sit and wait and do nothing for them, nothing's going to happen. You know, if you do nothing, nothing changes. So sometimes the first step is going, you know, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. Who are you going to call?
We're dating ourselves, Rex, but it is fundamental. I'm just going to bring up that energy again and not breathe too deeply like I did last time that got my throat going. But it is fundamental though. It's within our power, all of you right now, to say, yes, I've got this. I am going to do this. What do I want? How can I get it? How will I know I have it? What resources do I have right now that will help me achieve my outcome? And the next one is, and this is the powerful one, and Napoleon Hill talks about this in all his great readings, and I know, Rex, you do as well. It's the importance of when I get what I want, how will my life improve? We need to feel it fully. Working from that wish fulfilled, knowing that we got this, that and we are aiming, like we're shooting in that direction. That's why we started this very early section. And thank you for being here still. Like truly, like thank you for committing to yourself. Because if we're going to get different results, we got to do things differently. We've got to set our thinking first. And so how we get our thinking in alignment is that feeling it. We need to feel that fully, wrap it around ourselves. And I know, Rex, we're going to be doing some wonderful things in some of our programs moving forward about stepping in for those NLPers that know this into our resource triangles, using some of these additional tools to change our states, to really bring in, if something's going to start to take us away from what we want to achieve, we can become even more resourceful and bring in that state, wrap ourselves into that wonderful, abundant, beautiful, resourceful state, and take that in to whatever is facing that challenge. These are things you can do now, today, to build momentum. And if you do it consistently in the right way, with the right purposeful intention, guess what? You will move your life forward. You will change your patterns. This is part of that process that you're undertaking. Whether you're an expert in NLP or not, all of us have this beautiful intention and possibility in this moment to transform, reprogram, repattern, rewire our way of thinking and being and experiencing the world. And that's why I'm so passionate about these pieces. Start with the right frame for 2025 will take you easily throughout the rest of the year. And when we get there, what will I do to begin getting what I want? This is the last piece. And I know we're at the 2:26 marker, so I just want to alert that to Rex. These are all important pieces that we're talking about for forming those well-formed outcomes to help support you. That's our goal today, is to support you with some of these maybe reminders, maybe new concepts in this process. Rex, please go ahead.
Well, one of the things that's important is what Sandra asked, you know, is how will I know when I get it, you know? And it's like if you're walking down the street, how do you know that you're moving? And it's not just a rhetorical question. I mean, think about it. How do you know that you're moving? I mean, yes, you can feel it and all that, but how do you know you're moving? I would hope you'd answer the scenery changes somehow, right? You see different things that you did because you move beyond and beyond it. So what happens with a lot of people when they want to change is they're so stuck in what was that they don't notice the changes that they're making. So it's really important to pat yourself on the back to acknowledge the change. So let's say that I'm going to lose 5 pounds this month and you only lose 4, or I'm going to release 5 and you end up releasing 2. Instead of going, oh, I only released 2, you go, wow, look at I got 2. In other words, the when, even though you set a when deadline, sometimes things come and go and they don't make it on that date. Don't it's good to have a date because it gives you a target, but don't make the target more important than what it is that you intend to accomplish. So if it takes you an extra week, it takes you an extra week. One of the reasons why people go, I need money tomorrow, and they don't get money tomorrow is because they're desperate. They're not able to think clearly. They're not able to act clearly. It's tomorrow, or it's this week, or by the end of the month. And they're so caught up in that story that they're telling them, the talk that they have, the things that they see. They'll imagine the things going wrong instead of the things going right, don't seem to be available to them. And why? Because they're not using this appropriately. But they could. But what it means is, so as you're moving forward, things are changing. Notice the changes and go, oh, good for me. Look at what I did. You know what? And if you notice yourself feeling bad, you don't go, oh, I'm feeling bad. You say, hey, I noticed that I was feeling the way I didn't want to feel. I want to feel this way instead. And then you aim at that. So if you know, it's kind of like your GPS goes, hey, wrong way, turn around. Instead of going, hey, you ignorant idiot, you got to make a U-turn. Hopefully your GPS talks to you nicer than that, but your internal one should say, oh, hey, look, see, you got off track a little bit, but guess what? You can get back on track. That's cool. And because it's a learning, and every time you shift back, and every time you have that awareness, and every time you pat yourself on the back, you know what? I was going off base, but I noticed that I did it. Thank goodness. You're teaching yourself, you're training yourself where you want to go. How do you train a dog or a horse? You reward it for what it does right. If you reward it when it does right, and you punish it when it does wrong, it has no idea what you want it to do. And that's what most people do. They go, oh, good, I did that, but oh, I'm sloppy for doing this. So I did that, but no, I didn't. And that's where they stand, 1 foot on the boat, 1 foot on the dock. If you're going to live in the reality, you can't doubt the reality. Get that? You got to bring yourself to believe it. Live it with passion, with purpose, with pleasure, with fun, with delight, with celebration, with gratitude, feeling blessed, and let that propel you towards what it is you want to accomplish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You should be drawn toward your future, not begrudgingly getting there.
Mm.
And allow yourself to get pushed into your future by your own self. So, but the key is that awareness piece. You're always on the right track. All roads do lead to Rome. You just don't think you are. And so rather than getting derailed and getting off base and going, you're a bad puppy, I'm going to go eat worms, you say, okay, it's time to get back on track. If you're driving down the road, you going the wrong way, you go, oh, I got to turn. I got to go back, catch my turn. And the way you do it is through discipline. And Bob pointed out, Robert Parks said, law of polarity, one of my favorite laws, there's always an opposite. Your battery has a positive and negative pole. Birds to fly need to use both wings. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story and then pass it back to Sandra. Years and years and years and years and years and years and years ago, when I was a much younger person, I had taken a geology class. And I never thought I would ever use geology. It was just a requirement that I needed to take. So I took geology. I happened to enjoy it. Didn't care for the mapping and, topography and all, but I enjoyed it. So I'm now out of the class and it's summertime and I'm swimming in a big lake. And I swim way up there and it's dusk and, so the water's going out, it doesn't really, but at any rate, the tide is going out. And I'm trying to come back. And I'm swimming and I'm getting really tired because as I swim, I keep getting pulled back out. I keep getting pulled back out. I keep getting pulled back out. And I'm getting further and further away from the shoreline and I'm getting more and more tired. And I'm beginning to think, I'm going to drown out here. And then From my geology class, I remembered something important. Waves don't go straight onto the shore. They go at a 45-degree angle. So from my spot where I'm trying to go straight back to the shore, I look and I see the waves going like this. I just swam along that wave, and within a moment or two, a minute, I was taken right back to the shore. You have to notice where you are sometimes and be aware enough to change what you're doing to take the path of least resistance.
Awesome.
Thank you, Rex. And as we bring that in, I just want to acknowledge all of you again for your openness to receive that. How did that land for you? What resonated for you within your heart right now? So looking at, what do you want? What are you going to do? What is that inspiring moment for your 2025? What are you committing to do for yourself, for your family, whatever it is, the why behind this? Get clear, set that intention. Make sure, this is the offer again, is to do the work. Do the work. It's one thing to hear it, but we have to do the work. And I'm being directed in that saying half. It's an option. It's a choice, isn't it? All of this is a choice. So I'm just excited because I see the greatness. I see the potential. You know, Rex, I know that we're at the 2:30 mark at this point. One of the things that I found very powerful in supporting myself, we have to always come from our own personal lens at the very beginning, is the circle of excellence. We may not do it fully, but it's understanding that there are abilities for us, within us, to find those resources we talked about before. Do you know what your resources are? Have you taken time to write out what are your great resources? What are your skills? What are your strengths that you bring in your life? I would advocate that that is a great starting place to go today. In that document, in that, what do I want? Picking that one goal with intention. Write it out and then put your skills. And then seeking, again, as Rex said, is a summary of this. Who else do I need to perhaps even bring in? What are some new skills? Maybe I need to go and take a class. Maybe I need to go and learn a few new techniques to really truly help support myself. What is it? What is possible? What are you willing to commit to now that would truly help you move so that you are not repeating the same things you did over and over, the same way you did it, right? You're here for a purpose. And our purpose today was to provide you a process, a reminder, maybe a new process for you, each of you. And I love that, Lorna, to live life on your terms. Yeah, that's the outcome, right? To live life on your terms, to have gratitude and joy in all of these reminders. It's always wonderful. And I remember earlier we talked about resetting, retooling, recharging ourselves. Take inventory today. I talk about doing a personal inventory. Take your own personal inventory. How am I feeling? What's working? What's not working? What do I want? Understanding these pieces, getting your thinking right, and connecting it to your heart. It's not just about this. It's about that connection, isn't it? It's about truly getting behind it and feeling fully. Because the emotions, the feelings are the key that drives the change. Rex, I know you were going to say something. So as we kind of come to the end of this opportunity,
I've got to feed the dog.
Yeah. So as we come to wrap this beautiful opportunity today, I know you have to feed the beautiful dogs. Rex I would love to hear from someone because I would feel successful if someone can share courageously or in the chat. Anyone else had any other kind of aha moments from this? Reminders, things that kind of are resonating that I really want to know that were added value for you today. Is there something that's kind of like perking up right now for you that's like, hey, I'm going to go and do this. this is something that I haven't thought about for a while. Anyone want to share just quickly as we come to wrap this up, and then Rex will be back in just a second, and then we'll wrap this up, and thank you for being here today. Does anyone else want to just share something that kind of resonated for them, and perhaps put it in the chat? I'm just going to open it up to others. And then look on here. Any thoughts? Anything that's kind of sparking your interest in today? Oh, thank you. We are all capable of change. Yeah, it's true. Absolutely. And Nancy, writing a timeline and being more specific with my intention and goal. I love that beautiful. Timelines are very powerful tools that we can use to help support ourselves. And whatever project, whether you're your own personal project or you're bringing a new project into 2025, being able to evaluate, being able to gauge, to measure, to understand our successes in a positive, repeated way is very powerful. Now, I would offer for this group, maybe you want to reach out to someone in the group. We have a Facebook community that we started for Rex and I. It's I'll send the link actually in the chat once Rex is back. We'd love for you to come and join with us, because I think it's really important that we build community, that we support each other, that we hold each other also, as I call as a conscious leader. We hold ourselves radically responsible, but we help support each other to be responsible, to be accountable for ourselves of what we want to truly move forward in life. And thanks, Kathleen. Reminded me to work from the heart. The feeling is what gives me the drive to move forward. Yeah, thank you. You know, as someone who was very externally focused, until I became self-aware and I went within to my heart and I connected to the essence of my own inner story, became self-aware, like unlocking some of those stories that I had hidden for a long time. My outcomes, I was living someone else's outcomes. So I don't know if that resonates for anyone here. Because we have to get clear on who we are. You know, what do we want? How do we want to move forward in life? Our outcomes and what we set for ourselves in 2025 are directly linked to our own personal clarity and knowing ourselves and digging in to say, I got this. I have this. So how do I change? How do I move forward? It starts with this intention. It starts with knowing I need to get my thinking. If something comes up that is causing me a challenge, stop, pattern interrupt, become resourceful. Find some place, some state that you can go into that gives you the joy and the happiness, and bring it into that moment. Because you can. It's a choice. And as we look at gratitude and day in and these beautiful every day in, day out, we, with intention, can reprogram how we look at the world. And you will be successful. Because guess what? You've changed, haven't you? You've given yourself the opportunity to get off of that wonderful treadmill, get off of whatever isn't working for you, and say, no, I'm choosing a new way. I'm going to choose to decide how I want to think and how I want to feel. And I think that to me has been my greatest journey of self-awakening, of really tapping into my heart, connecting to my mind, getting out of that back brain, out of the fight and flight, or perhaps it resonates for some, and into that front, into the ability to look, get creative, get curious, be more resourceful, rather than live in my old past way of being. It didn't serve me. It didn't give me the things that I wanted to see in my life. So why would I not choose to change? And that is the beautiful gift we can give ourselves, is make the choice to change. So I thank you all so, so much for just being here and just engaging. I truly hope that you have found incredible value today. One of the things that we would love to is, as I said earlier, is to build that community, build the relationships. I'd love to learn. I'd love to be able to see all of the great outcomes, the goals that you're setting in this world. We would invite you to join us one of the greatest gifts that I learned for myself is to join us in the NLP Home Study Program. It's a powerful program to learn how to pattern interrupt, to be able to take yourself to that next level, and to really, truly be able to, as I say, build rapport with myself, build rapport with others. It's foundational for me to be able to do that. And I would invite any and all of you to go to www.rexsikes.com. That's where we have that housed right now. And it's from my heart to your heart. Like, I really hope you found some value, some new reminders, some opportunities to come and join us. Rex and I are going to be doing some great other programs. We're going to more deep dive into mindset, into really unlocking your mindset, digging into some of these other particular techniques and tools that we can do. Thank you so much, Elise. I really appreciate your time. And I hope you've enjoyed this. And I love to hear from a thumbs up, a 1 to 5. How are we feeling? 1 being, yes, there was value attached to this, that you enjoyed the time spent with Rex and I. And I thank you again. For myself is learning not to deep breathe too much and getting a dry mouth and going, uh-oh, what am I going to do? I think it's just a really beautiful gift. And I just love how you're all connected. Most of you are connected to Rex. I will follow up with a recording from this wonderful session. And I just want to thank you again. Please come and join us in that home study. We'd love to be able to take you to the next level. And hey, Paul. Welcome, Paul. As we close up here today, is there anything that anyone wants to share? One word, your one word checkout for today. And thanks, Kathleen. Blessings, gratitude, excellence. I really appreciate that. And is there anything else that we wanted to share? And there's Rex, just as our final kind of our wrap up. I was just saying how we've built our community and Facebook. And love to have you come and join us as part of that follow-up. We will be, bringing some additional programs, 5-day programs, alongside so much more. And any thoughts, Rex, as we conclude
Yeah, I
today?
put the
Thank
link
you.
for the Ultimate NLP Home
Thank
Study
you.
course in the chat room because it is the platinum for home study learning and has been available for many years. You've done it. Ted, who's here, is part of it. I mean, a lot of people have done it. So I wanted to make that available to you if you want to join us and be in that program. It's a powerful program. Part of what you learned today is from that program. And there's a whole lot more. You can talk more about it, Sandra, if you want, because you've done the program.
Yeah, and also, and welcome, Paul. I want to welcome our friend Paul today. Thanks for joining our beautiful friend. The gift that we can give to ourselves is the power of being able to reprogram and to rewire our beautiful brain, to be able to direct ourselves with our heart, with intention, and to truly understand that way forward. And that's where I feel there's just so many gifts, so many technical and tactical ways that I now have been able to use to not only enhance my life, but also enhance the clients that I get to connect with and build that rapport, build a change state, and live my life truly, as we all say earlier, to live our lives, live our life on our terms. And I think that's the most beautiful gift. But it is the time now, at the start of 2025, let's do things differently. Let's think differently. Let's not wait. So many people are waiting. So don't wait. From my heart to your heart, I really hope you take that step. Come and join us. And again, we'll be bringing more programs, more opportunities to support you to grow. And I thank you for that. Over to you, Rex.
Thank you, everybody, for being here, for your time, for your energy, for your attention, because after all, that's what you gave to us, and we appreciate you. We hope that 2025 and beyond is incredible. And the only way it will be is if we make it that way. So it's up to each of us to do what we intend to do, create the kind of life, the kind of future we want to have, the kind of present moment we want to have, and not let anything hold you back, not let anything hold us back. With that, I thank you again for being here. I hope you come and join us. I hope I see you in program or whatever, or wherever I see you. But much love, peace, and blessings, and celebrate everything.